Warning, the following podcast contains excessive amounts of dumb jokes, subpar criticism, overly deep reads, and casual use of the fuck word and other fun expletives. Listener discretion is advised.
Sorry, I don't have what it takes to save you. The monster you've become is the one that hates you. Sorry, I don't have what they said or gave you. The only thing you love is the one that hates you. Everything you say, I always see through. I can't wait to bury you, pour the dirt all over you. Maybe I'm delusional, I'll put the fun at funeral. I found a way, I'm not ashamed. That's all excuses.
What are we watching tonight, Rachel?
Well, no, it started differently now.
No, it started the same way both times.
Okay, then. Welcome to We Might Be Critics. What did we watch tonight, Jake? If you don't mind giving the explanation, since you're the only one who hasn't seen it this time.
We watched Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunter, which is a fantasy... it's a fantasy movie that is following the adventures of Hansel and Gretel after they've become adults, and they kill witches for a living, and that's kind of it. There's not much else to sink your teeth into in this movie. There's a bunch of action, and a bunch of dead witches.
It's the natural adaptation of a 100-year-old. How old is
I'm
the
pretty
story
sure it's
of?
older than that.
It's definitely older than 100 years.
definitely older
We're
than
talking
100
like Grimm
years.
Brothers.
I'm gonna get that fact. I can't believe none of us looked that.
We probably should have looked that up. But yeah, there's kind of a plot going on. There's a coven of witches that's trying to become immune to fire during the blood moon, which is not to crap on the witches' plans or anything, but that seems like a really, really, low-tier plan, considering bullets seem to do just fine, as do knives and others.
Only the blessed ones at the end. Previously, that wasn't killing them.
They still get hurt by them.
It doesn't kill them.
Okay.
But there are definitely other ways to kill them.
Yeah.
I think it's the difference between using and not to immediately go into the D&D talk, which we will be getting into. I think it's the difference between normal weapons versus silvered weapons or magical weapons against things.
Sure, that's fine. I can accept that. I have no problem accepting that.
I can't accept that.
Okay.
Whatsoever.
Okay, Sam.
Why can't... Hold on. Usually... Hold on. Everybody stop the presses. I'm usually the one who does this. Why?
We need to get into the movie, then we can get into the discourse.
That's fair.
Okay.
I'll hold fair at least my second point.
Hold it in for 2 minutes.
Hey, you know what else we need to do that we haven't done yet?
The nerd facts.
No,
we need to introduce ourselves. I'm Jake.
I'm Sam.
And I'm Rachel. Now on to the nerd facts.
Nerd facts. This movie was made on a budget of $50 million, and it grossed $226 million, so it's
a winner.
One of the most successful movies we've actually seen thus far, making 8 times its money back.
Well, I've only seen 2 movies. iRobot was pretty successful, though.
Yeah.
But it had a way bigger budget.
Yeah, it did have a way
That being
bigger
said,
budget.
I feel like, granted, it would be a lower budget, but I feel like if we tried hard enough, we could go into a forest and film most of this movie.
Absolutely, 100%.
I would argue a lot of the plot, absolutely, but the effects in this movie,
which are effects. Some of them cheesy. The makeup,
and the practical props are gorgeous.
Okay, well, the makeup and the props, those are completely different things from the CGI.
Totally different in the budget whatsoever.
But
No, totally not part of the budget at all.
This was directed by Tommy Wirkola, who has done, I don't actually know.
Nothing that we would know. He does. Well, I mean, I'm sure some people know it. He's Scandinavian. Is that Norway? That's Scandinavian?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that is.
Yeah, okay. So, he's Scandinavian and does a bunch of Scandinavian action stuff.
That makes sense.
That makes sense.
A lot about, I noticed about half of the, actors in this movie, besides, of course, Jeremy Renner and the ones we recognize, a lot of them were Scandinavian actors and actresses.
Yeah.
Just filling in the background.
Mr. Peter Stormare, who is
fantastic
and completely wasted, which is just kind of the running theme of Peter Stormare.
Him.
Okay, yes, but he was in 3 scenes total,
and they were funny scenes.
Yeah, they were great scenes. Completely wasted Peter Stormare.
I will say this: Peter Stormare, that is very true. Peter Stormare, comparatively, isn't like a scene in John Wick, and it's used way better than the entirety of Peter Stormare in this movie.
Yeah, I mean that's unfair though. Like,
we should not be
that's comparing filet mignon to a
They're both
McDonald's
action
hamburger.
movies.
They are both
They're
action
both action
movies, but we
movies.
both know that there's a bit of a sliding
Yeah,
scale
there's much different.
on literally made by probably the best like group of people to do an action movie ever versus this movie, which is fine. Let's get into it.
I would like everyone on the other side to note the look that Sam was giving Jake of reproach that made him back off for now.
It wasn't that. No, it's just I'm saving it. You should know by now that there's no such thing as getting me to back off. We should get... We've already, like, kind of summed up what happens. There's not a whole lot of story here.
There's not a whole lot of story. This movie also doesn't really take any breaths.
No, it's very breakneck pace. Like, pacing is...
We need to get through this movie as fast as possible.
Dude, I heard they filmed this one continuous take. Yeah. They just never stopped rolling. Jeremy Renner didn't sleep for 3 days.
I don't know Jeremy Renner for very long, man. I had to film this movie quick.
Yeah, Jeremy Renner was actually, like, I liked him more in this than I like him in any of the Avengers movies. So
by far.
I mean,
That
let him
was-
have a role in this one.
Yeah, he has
Yeah.
a character. He's I kind of like how he's this big, dumb, can't see his hand in front of his face,
I
but
think
really good at his job. Dude, I kind of dig that, actually.
Okay, so...
I like him in this.
Since I told you guys to hold off, now that we're done with the basics, let's get into the discourse first, because there were two that came up literally while we were doing that.
Yes.
Killing witches,
Yeah.
and how it is done.
Yeah.
How to kill a witch 101.
Mm-hmm.
What are the problems that this movie has, or what aren't the problems that this movie has? Because they're like two. You guys clearly have two sides.
Well, what we were saying prior was that the whole...
Yeah, I will recant. It is less like silvered weapons or magical weapons versus like magical creatures. I think it's more they are vulnerable to fire, and removing that vulnerability is removing a big tick on their like stat sheet.
Yes, comma but.
The point I was making...
My favorite kind of improv is yes, comma, but, not yes, and.
That butt is as big as that one actor's butt in the movie that we see for some reason.
Yeah, that does
What's up
happen.
with that scene, by the way?
They
the
paid-
Healing Waters?
Yeah, the
Healing Waters scene. They paid that. What's her name? We just looked it up.
Mina or the,
Well, in the movie, her name is
Hila
Mina.
Vitala.
Yeah, we looked. They must have paid her for some full back nudity.
This isn't at all
I guess.
relevant to what we're talking about, but that scene has a really fucking jarring cut wherever they're talking and Jeremy Renner still has his pants on and he's like standing outside and he's kind of like looking back to talk to her, and then it cuts to her and then it cuts back to Jeremy Renner fully submerged naked in the water.
That is a
No,
really
it's just
jarring
No,
cut.
no. Before we continue, Jack, you weren't here for this, and of course, listeners weren't either. So before you got here, I was debating on which edition of this movie to buy because I bought it. And there is a unrated cut,
And that is probably exactly...
and that is probably exactly where one of the cuts were made.
I think that whole scene has probably about
Massive cuts.
13 more minutes we didn't get to see.
Are you saying we missed Jeremy Renner, dog? Potentially?
I'm saying it's very likely.
I don't think that we missed Jeremy Renner, dog, dude.
I was outvoted.
Budget win.
Are we ever gonna watch a movie that doesn't have full ass? By the way, this
Right
is a
now,
3
no.
for 3.
No.
Yeah, so far, no.
Yeah.
So far, we're doing pretty good.
We've stopped being the Smith cast. We're now the ass cast.
That's all right.
I'm fine with that too. I mean, it's whatever. Everyone has their brand.
Anyways, back to the logistics of killing
Yeah.
witches in this movie.
Yeah, I like I said, I just out of all the things that, like, I get it. I get why they're doing it. I don't have a problem with that, but it seems like a lot to go through.
Yeah, think bigger.
Yeah, like just
I mean,
like destroy.
Destroy humanity. Do it.
No,
do
not
it
that
the
big.
they
predecessors
girls
did.
gotta
Not
eat.
that
They're not going
big.
to do that. No way.
Maybe like
Okay.
be able to keep. I mean, there's no limit.
Sabotage of the village.
The whole
Yeah,
premise
but that village is already
for
sabotaged.
the anti-fire was never again shall one of my sisters be burned at the stake. That line justifies the whole movement.
Luckily, she doesn't have to worry about her sisters anymore. All of them are dead.
Well, no, they got away.
Some of them
Our
did.
wonderful end-credit
Our-
scene.
We saw one.
Yeah.
Well-
The only 2 others that we saw get away from that specific black mass got turned
But
into...
the one we saw at the
No,
end
it's
scene was not...
implied that there are plenty of witches
Yeah,
left in the
there's
world.
tons.
Just
Okay.
not in that. Just
Plenty
not in
of
that.
witches
It's
in
not in that coven.
Yeah, they were going to.
These were local.
Yeah, what we saw in the end credits was Hansel and Gretel 2: Wild Wild West,
Which I would still
which
watch.
I would watch.
Hey, man.
Okay, do we want to start going around with points?
That's what I think we're kind of doing that
Okay.
already.
Mhm.
But if you've got something you want to talk about, just shoot it in there. Like,
Okay.
we're
I will actually. So I will accept the premise of it. It is candy. The entire premise of this movie is candy. And it is for a good time. You know, we cannot deep read into this film.
sure we can.
Oh, I mean,
Absolutely.
we certainly could, but
We will.
that
We
would not
will
be
be doing that.
shortly. But that's not generally the intention. What I will say about this film is, especially for how just straight up, and not awful, but how straight up like cheesy it could be. I love the fact that they really did commit to a certain aesthetic, because throughout this film you have that same kind of dark, gritty, but over exaggerated in kind of a humorous way, like the candy house, like when she's pulling out the bowls of blood for her sisters to do the trial potion.
Mhm.
That's very like kind of the potion they had in it. It was kind of very kitschy,
Yeah.
but still dark, and
With
they
the
kept
literal
that.
eyeballs rolling around in it, you know?
Yeah, but they kept that like throughout the film, and and no one's looking for historical accuracy in this film. I think we can all agree.
No.
But
not
they
even a
kept
little
that
bit.
same aesthetic throughout the film, and the makeup in this film, and honestly, the sets are really fun and unique, and keeping that through a line.
I will not say the sets, but I will give it that the makeup and the costumes and overall aesthetic of the movie is very good.
It's very pretty.
I like the
You didn't
gothic
like the
steampunk.
sets?
They're
It's very good.
fine. They're serviceable to the movie.
They are pretty
One of the
typical like
sets-
Witch Slayer.
They're
Looked like
forest. It's mostly forest.
It's
Okay.
mostly forest. One of the sets looked like a part in
The
Army
candy
of
house in the
Darkness.
beginning is very cool.
Yes, I also like the
Well,
the
that-
cages they have the children in.
Yeah.
I think was very cool and organic, but still incredibly spooky looking.
That's props more than...
Oh yeah,
than
props.
set, but-
Yeah,
I
props.
would
I guess.
say cage bars count as much as a set piece
Okay.
as a prop.
Where do we draw
Okay.
the line between how big does a prop have to become the
You
set?
can, you can carry a prop.
Small, bigger than a bird
Bed bugs,
cage,
yeah.
Yeah.
but slightly smaller than a large bird cage.
Could
I'll write this
someone-
down.
Could someone pick it up and wander off with it? It's
That's
a prop.
Okay, all right, that makes
So
sense.
children are props.
Yes.
In a lot of ways.
Okay.
In this movie, yes.
All right. Just so we have that clear on recording.
Yeah, but I do respect the and as dumb as the weapons are, which I'm not going to fight them on this.
Weapons are cool.
Yeah,
The weapons are so cool.
I like the weapons.
Inventive, and yes,
No, continue. I just have a point to make at the end of this.
no, they're very fun and enjoyable. Yeah, that was just going into that.
I agree. I like the repeating crossbow. It turning sideways. I didn't
It turning
care for
sideways in both directions to fire simultaneously.
Yeah,
You
didn't care
mean
for it.
the best possible moment.
I wanted akimbo. I would have rather had akimbo cross shots.
Yeah,
It's cooler
that's
that way.
Yeah, I
They missed it. Look, they missed. I'm gonna go ahead and throw this out there.
Mhm.
The action scenes in this movie, I have no problems with.
They're
They're
tons
all
of fun.
They're very
pretty
cool.
good.
Yeah, they're fun.
They're all like they're all in between like
Well,
good and pretty.
The
like,
biggest thing holding
solid.
this movie's action scenes back is the really bad effects.
Yeah.
Like, the effects aren't great. Anytime a witch gets on a broom is like the funniest goddamn thing
It is
ever.
really great.
You don't like the we're gonna cut frames out to make them look like they're going faster thing? You don't like that?
No! Of course not.
This
It looks
movie-
terrible.
I feel like it was very
This-
popular in this time period too, because I remember this movie
No, this movie is filmed in a way that is much older than it actually is when
Mhm.
it comes to the action scenes. Which
Oh, I
am
meant for
here
lower
for.
budget things. Because did this come around? I may be like totally off. Did this come out around the same time as Twilight?
This
Because
Came
they
out
used the
after.
exact
It came
same
out
fast
way-
walking.
It came out a ways after. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
but not any good in Twilight either. Let's not use that as the
Oh no,
bar.
I'm not
That's
saying
not
it's
exactly. That's not a
I'm
great metric, but look, it's as good as Twilight. All right.
No, I'm just saying for lower budget films, it seemed fairly.
Can you
I mean-
imagine the dudes being on set and they're in the editing room at this point. And it's like, well, it's good enough for Twilight.
He's just like
What it
he
is?
just got one bleeding nostril, one coked out nostril. Oh.
Hey, he's right though. Those Twilight movies were mega successful.
They were super. This movie was super successful. It made a ton of money.
Let's not say super successful,
Dude,
but it was
it made-
successful.
It made a fuck ton of money. It
Like-
made $100. It made
More than double back when they
$170 million
made.
more dollars than it cost.
Yeah.
I think. Okay, yeah.
That's super
alright.
successful, man.
Yeah,
Like,
that's pretty sick.
That's a win.
I'll turn over my point now, and I just want to end that whole little section with props to the makeup artists. They were the hardest working people in this movie. It was super pretty and
I
super
will believe
very
that.
pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, as like costume. Doesn't like costume. What's that?
Costuming and makeup.
Yeah.
Costume. Yeah,
Wardrobe.
costume. And wardrobe.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
all the makeups for the witches look fairly different while still having
Good.
that same feel to them.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're good.
It's
No
a
one
very-
witch is the same.
No.
But they all feel like they come from the same movie.
Yeah.
Which is sometimes a
Good.
problem.
Like, this movie's aesthetic is actually really good. I really like it.
Yeah.
It's
They do what you're supposed to do, and that's commit to the bit. Okay?
Yeah.
They picked something and they ran with it. And I can support that through and through.
Okay.
Did they run really choppy and really forward in a way that was very popular
They ran
in the
by-
90s?
they-
Absolutely.
They ran by cutting every other frame out.
it was really popular in like late 90s, early 2000s
It
movies.
served them
This-
well.
It's definitely not as no.
Look, okay, I will counter this. If they had done really clean, really sharp, they clearly spent a lot of money on these like hyper detailed fight scenes. Would all of the gushing blood and the I squash your head like a grape moments have changed any of that? Would that have helped? Or does this make suddenly that guy's head is blown off in the background like a water balloon? Doesn't that all work together a little bit better?
I mean, yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Like, I don't mind that. Like, I actually think the blood and gore is fine.
But I
it's
think if you
it's
did,
so
like, super
ridiculously over the
clean-
top. It's basically Mortal Kombat.
If you did super clean, like super on top of things, like no jump cuts whatsoever, right next to that, it would have felt a little out of place. This way I know exactly what they want the entire way through. They've set the bar exactly where they need it to be, so they can spend the rest of their money on built-in handmade wind-up tasers.
Yeah. All right, I take it back. There was a dumb weapon. I hate
I hate that thing. That thing's so stupid.
It's really dumb.
But it was
It's
plot
not-
relevant!
It's not even
They
cool,
forced
though.
it to be plot relevant.
Yeah, they forced it hard. Also, how would anyone back then know that would work?
Nobody. Well, it doesn't. Historical accuracy's out the window, man.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They, had,
No,
they did not
I
have
will
revolvers
agree.
in the
I-
fucking
I would-
1600s.
I
Okay.
did look up when Hansel and Gretel is assumed to have been originated, and
Okay.
that is in 1314.
Yeah, alright. So, not even any of the guns
None
would have
of it.
been.
I would
No.
have preferred, like, white witch magic bringing him back as opposed to...
Yeah, that would have been cool. I thought that's what they were going to do.
I think so too. I do like that they didn't immediately give her this amazing ability to know exactly how to use magic. Like, I was gonna still have to read
Okay.
the book.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
fair.
hate that trope.
Fair. They did
I
not
hate
just
that
give
trope
her
in
the
shows.
powers.
she's not just suddenly, I'm a super
Okay,
powerful
that's alright. I'm fine with that. That I hate the stupid defibrillator
Yeah,
stuff.
I still
Oh
hate
no,
it.
I'm sorry, Sam. I gotta go with the boys on this one. The
I like the
defibrillator
one-
is kind of dumb.
I like the
I
one
feel like there were
that's
cooler ways that could have been done.
Oh, really? Give me one. Give me one. What would you have them do instead of the
White witch magic?
Jackson's staying on the white midget. I don't have a cool... Look, I'm going to give you guys this. I don't have a cooler option.
Okay, no.
I just
What
think
if
it's
we-
dumb.
They had a white witch still alive at this point, guys.
No, they
that's-
didn't.
Yeah, Mina was still alive.
She was a
That's
away,
right,
though.
that's right. But that goes back to one of my points, which is for a movie that is billed as Hansel and Gretel, there's a lot of Hansel or Gretel throughout this entire movie.
That's true.
I love that though.
Okay, there are pros and cons. Pro, both of them are their own person. It is not one person is more important than the other.
I'd like to add another pro. We don't get more little weird... I get that they're close, but
Yeah.
sometimes they're a little too
Yeah,
close.
were you getting the weird incestuous vibe?
Yeah, just
yeah.
a
That was
little
the
bit.
incestuous vibe.
They were getting...
They
seemed
were real...
They seemed a little bit more romantic sometimes than maybe they should have been.
I
Yeah,
didn't
they were
think
real
this.
touchy on the faces and stuff like
Even the
that.
bit where they fell through a hole in the floor and they both thought each other had been dead already? That time?
Yeah, that
Well,
one.
Where
that-
they did
one
the
of
soft
them.
forehead
There's
touch?
another time that I can't remember because
Is it
this
the bed
movie
thing?
just keeps going.
Is it
Yes,
the-
it's
yeah,
the bed thing. It's the
yeah.
bed thing.
When he rolls under the bed to get away from the conversation.
That's great, but
That part's awesome. That's
Right.
actually maybe my favorite part in the entire movie.
Most relatable. Hey, can you not bring up my traumatic past? I'm just gonna exit scene real quick.
DM'd enough Dungeons and Dragons to know that just happens.
No,
a
this
lot.
I would absolutely argue that's gonna be my eventual point. This could be just a D&D movie. Everyone's been part of this D&D group.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's another pro. I think And I'm not crazy because Jake agrees with me on this.
All right. I will accept that you saw that. I didn't see it the same way, but
I can play both ends. I can play both ends. I get
that
it.
with my incestuous eyes.
No,
it's not.
I do get it. It's definitely.
Ew.
Oh, shit.
I think there are families that are that close, but I definitely get it. And I have actually, because I am who I am, I've actually taken a look into the Hansel and Gretel fanfiction area. Not nearly as many of those stories as you would think.
I'm shocked this thing has fanfiction, to be honest.
Oh, yes, it does.
everything has been.
Everything is
Okay, you're
fanfiction.
right. I'm shocked that it has a wide enough berth for you to be able to say there aren't as many as you think there would be.
But no. Pros, you have to see them separately. Cons, there's no reason this person doesn't know about this thing.
Yeah.
Vice versa. Which, honestly, the movie does a fairly good job about if one person doesn't know something, the other person, it's very clear who knows what throughout the whole movie. They're very good at separating information. It does mean we get basically two different tones of storyline happening, which isn't bad. But there's a lot of sort of like split.
Yeah, I will say Hansel, the only way I can explain his willful ignorance is the sheer force of will to just not examine his issues. He's like, I'm here to kill witches. I'm not here to deal with my childhood trauma. I am not going to pay attention to the fact that there was a witch. Because I love his answer to, what about the witch, downstairs in the basement? He's like, so whatever, we lived above a witch's lair. He refuses to acknowledge anything about that.
No, and that does go into my other big issue I have.
Okay.
Which is this movie does use one of my least favorite tropes, which is woman must die so man may learn lesson.
Yeah, I was getting ready.
Yep.
I was going to talk about
Jake, take it.
something about that. No, I want Sam to lead off on this one. I've got a slightly different read on it, I think.
Mine's kind of just slightly part of that, where did anyone ever watching this movie once, from like the very beginning, think, these people aren't related to witches? It's like, that twist is so obvious, right?
Yeah, it's 100%.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, their mom's 100% a witch.
Yeah,
like from the very beginning.
I don't think they hide that. I mean, I don't think they're really trying too hard to hide that from us, the viewers.
Not from us, just from them.
Yeah, I'm just saying that the twist wasn't necessary. That's all I'm saying. Anyways,
Well,
continue.
the twist
Twist. Yeah, quotes.
does explain why they are not affected by witch magic.
Yeah,
That is the whole reason it's there.
they
They are so
They
affected.
could have just done something really much dumber, which I would have liked, which would be like, they're just too strong. They've killed too many
Jeremy Renner's
witches.
pecs. You can flex off of the magic.
What I would have been okay with, if they didn't want to do that storyline, which I don't have a problem with it personally. When they were in like the candy house, they might have like drinking something weird.
Yeah, that would have
explained it.
There are lots of ways to do that. I don't
Eat the witch.
But
eat the witch.
But if you do that, then they can't have the I need the heart of a great white witch, and you're the only one I can get a hold of. You know?
You're right.
I do like the substitution.
Again,
that
the whole
substitutions are
plot of
allowed.
the movie.
They could have executed on the equally as dumb plot of this movie. Yeah, continue.
I don't know
with
if your rewrite would have made it past the producers, is all I'm saying.
This right made it past the producers, Sam. It absolutely would have.
I think anything would have made it past the producers.
Alright, but no, woman must die so man may learn lesson is one of my least favorite tropes.
It's not great.
It's used a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
They do make a point to make it as poetic as possible, where one of his first lines, or not his first line to Mia, but one of the second lines he says to Mia during their talk in the market is, the only good witch is a dead witch. Which they do finish the movie on. Him, again, finding a very good witch, very dead.
Yeah.
Which is not necessary. We get, she's there. Mia's a cool character. I have a lot of questions about her character, i.e., yes, she's saving her neck. I would also keep my head down. But if you know children are disappearing, you know where the secret coven meets in the middle of the woods.
Okay,
You know
no. We're gonna stop right there. She got wasted by this bitch immediately. Why would you... The reason she knows where these witches are at is because she's avoiding them.
Yes, she is.
Why?
But
I understand you're trying to save some kids. It's 12 kids.
She's not trying to save any kids, though, whatsoever.
Oh, no. I wouldn't.
I don't know that...
Me versus an entire coven of witches with just her own little lonesome self?
I'm just saying, you wander into town, there are these witch hunters here, they save you from getting executed, they're here to look for the lost children, you don't think maybe, you know what, maybe I'll just mention this one part of the woods, it's kind of spooky. You know, where all of the witches like to hang out. Maybe I'll just lead them in that direction, you know?
No, because she wanted to bang Jeremy Renner, so she had to get him there first, and then reveal she's a witch.
Which goes back to my point. Her whole point in this movie is to be a victim that we see at the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
make goo-goo eyes at Jeremy Renner,
Yeah.
bang that boy after introducing him to healing waters.
Yeah.
You know, she made all of the moves there. He is too awkward in this whole movie to have done a single thing without being led there by his hand.
Once again, I'd like to point out, holy shit, that's a way better character for Jeremy Renner than big, tough, stoic bad guy.
I don't hate him having to be led everywhere by his hand. I don't hate him being just the...
No, that's not the problem with this.
No,
I
whatsoever. But then, right at the end, she'll go along with the fight. She will do the big, I'll save you and sacrifice myself.
Mm-hmm.
So he can learn, you know what? No, you did a good job.
Yeah, no, that... I wish they hadn't killed her, if they did kill her, it was in a better way.
Why the fuck did they kill her and not the stupid troll? I don't give a shit about the troll.
Dude, that troll was like 2 steps away from being a World of Warcraft orc.
He was.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I have to like him.
Yeah, he was, wasn't he?
Doesn't mean I have to like him. And he had, I don't know. I feel like you could have kept the
Yeah,
alive.
but they kept the
Mina
troll
alive.
instead.
The troll's probably like
neither of them really serve a purpose. Or you really
I mean, not really. No, she does.
She does. Not a good one.
Not a good one, though.
You want to know the real reason she died so quickly in that fight? She's the cleric of the party. I'm just throwing out that. You always target the cleric.
The healing
first.
waters are the cleric of the party. They just
She heals Jeremy Renner completely from his stab wound later.
Yeah.
She's the cleric. And that's why Muriel was like, oh, what are you going to do? And then she shoots off what I presume is guiding bolts. One of the few lower level spells for clerics that does that kind of damage. Because she used all her higher level spells, blasted all that fucking equipment. She had no spell slots left. Guys, she could not do anything else.
She was very effective with the Gatling gun.
She was. She probably has the highest body count in the entire film.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild. Okay, that's the only good purpose she serves, is using the Gatling gun.
The Gatling gun.
Yeah.
Also, was that, like, scene where she died and Jeremy Renner said, good job? Like, wasn't the only thing missing there is, like, him patting her on the cheek a couple times?
Good job was a really uncomfortable phrase to use.
You did a good sex. Thank you,
No.
woman.
Yeah, that was...
That's pretty much it.
That's Jeremy Renner every Sunday night with his wife.
No, don't be like that. Don't do that.
100% I'm doing that.
I'm sure they have a very loving relationship.
Surely they do. With known great guy, Jeremy Renner.
I want nothing to do with this.
You don't want any information on that?
I don't. Oh, let me live a happier life.
I don't know any. I really know nothing about Jeremy Renner. I might have just insulted a perfectly fine man, but
I know hot
Won't be the
guy
first
for
time.
sex.
I believe that.
Yeah. And his wife dresses up as Wonder Woman to really confuse things.
But no, they could have come with a better line for him, other than you did a good thing.
I was expecting him to walk up with some Sunny D and some orange slices, like after a soccer game. Like,
Well,
like,
honestly,
hey,
I got it from here.
yeah, you did a good job, kid. Good goals.
what I was expecting them to do is like take that dagger full of magic witch blood and like resurrect her with it.
No, she's dead.
Yeah, no, she's dead.
None of them took Revivify.
The only person who comes back in this movie is Edward, and it's just because he was sort of teetering, you know?
It's because, like, why the fuck did... Well, I guess because she got hit by witch magic, but, like, why the fuck did they use that dumb, stupid defibrillator thing
Okay,
on the witch?
Yeah, you got a point there, man. If they could use on...
Gretel had it, Hansel didn't. They only have one dumb defibrillator.
Yeah, you're right.
They can't afford 2 tasers. Look at the money they spent on the Gatling gun.
Yeah, that gap.
There was no money.
That's a lot of money.
Here's some conspiracy brain time.
Oh, no.
And this is going to be real bad and uncomfortable. Hansel... Wait. Gretel.
Okay.
So Gretel had the defibrillator, right?
Yeah.
Alright.
I don't
She
like...
did not revive...
Mhm.
What's her face?
Mina.
Mina?
Yeah.
Because of the weird...
No.
Yeah.
No.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I don't disagree, but I'm stepping off this train. We're getting off the train or stepping onto the platform.
I will say, like, if you're just talking in general, first off, the issue I have with that whole concept of her using that to defibrillate if this is like a taser thing, that shit would have killed a man.
Are you coming at this movie because of the science?
Well,
Is that what
no.
you're doing right
I'm
now?
just saying, ignoring the first part where they tased the guy, if they used that on her, that would probably just kill her more.
In all fairness,
Kill her more.
we're
More
missing,
Metallica's lesser-known second album, Killing More.
we're missing a huge thing here. That
Yeah.
Edward is a troll.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We
He's
kind of
much
glossed
bigger.
over that for no one who's seen this. He's large.
He's very
He's a big
large.
boy.
He's like well, actually, I didn't completely gloss over. I said he looked like an orc from Warcraft.
Yeah.
Like he
Just
looks
in
like
the
an
same
orc in a
size.
CG.
Yeah.
trailer.
Yeah,
Mhm.
He's got the
He's
big
sweet.
he does really
jaw.
look like a Warcraft
he's
character.
the big dumb sweetie.
Yeah.
He's the tank.
This movie checks its tropes.
You know, it does. It does
Yeah.
a very good job of hitting
I wouldn't
every
say it
single
does a
one.
very good
does a great
job,
one.
but it does it. This isn't like iRobot where it like ticks all the boxes like really well, I think.
Mhm.
This one takes some of them just like, yeah, okay, I guess.
Okay, but it takes
I'll agree with that.
all of the boxes if we're doing the vigilante superhero, which is what it is. Not a fantasy film.
Is it?
I think it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know about
No,
that,
I don't
Sam.
think
I
about
don't
that
agree
one.
with
I
that.
don't agree
no,
with
see,
that.
because they're on a vengeance plot. You
Mhm.
know, the two of them, it's them against the world. Everything's out to
It's
get
not
them.
really them against the
Okay,
world.
no, no,
It
no.
is though, because the town turns on them like
Wait,
that.
no. Continue, Sam.
Okay.
Hold on.
No.
Okay.
Let it go. Go on, Sam.
Make your point. Make your point.
So it's the two of them. They've got their tragic backstory. It's them against the world. The two of them, as we saw in the wonderful
By the way,
exposition.
Sorry to interrupt one more time. Them against the world supports my theory even more.
No,
I'm not with you, Jack. Because no, real quick. Can you describe the scene of Frodo and Sam trying to return to two people, them against the world? This is also
This
hitting
is
everything for
not-
fantasy as well.
No, continue.
Yeah.
No, I'm not gonna.
I'm just
yeah.
saying there is an underlying crime plot. They show up. They don't know who to trust. Now it's the two of them. They're
But-
doing their.
I wouldn't call that a crime plot.
It is a crime plot.
It's
Children
not
are
a crime
missing.
plot.
They're on milk bottles, which I
Yeah,
loved.
it is. That's a good side gag. But it is. I get where you're coming from. I do.
I get where you're coming from. I'm not gonna say you're right. though.
Fine. What tropes are they actually hitting? Let's do that. We got the big tank.
They have
We've
the
got
girl.
We've got the girl. The
They
fridge
have the
girlfriend.
useless love interest.
She's not useless. She is just fridged though.
She's mostly useless.
She saved his ass.
Hold
No,
on.
she
hold
saved
on,
so many
hold on.
people's
No.
lives.
We have a scale for this that I've just come up with,
Okay.
but I've forgotten her
Okay.
name.
Mina.
No, not Mina. No.
Winston?
Gretel?
No. What the fuck
Muriel?
is her name from Wild Wild West? The actress.
I've
Of
got
the
my
actress?
Yes.
Selma
Hayek.
Selma Hayek.
On a level of 1 to Selma Hayek, how useless is she?
She's not as useless as Selma Hayek is in
No,
that
not at
movie.
I shouldn't say Selma Hayek. Selma Hayek's character in Wild Wild West.
Yeah, which none of us
remember
that.
that movie.
Hold on.
Do you have notes for
Of
it?
course I have notes.
Yeah, I think she was useful. I mean, she
She's more
healed
useful.
them up. No,
Yeah.
I agree with Sam. I think she was just fridged real hard. She was useful, and then they didn't want to have to write more scenes for her.
Well, here's the thing. Does Gretel ever interact with her?
I don't.
No.
Not beyond the
Not-
first scene that she's on.
Yeah, that's it. They
Yeah.
never have a scene together. They never speak to one another. No. Except for in the big fight when she throws Gretel a crossbow. That is the first time
Yeah.
she has
Yeah,
spoken
that
to Gretel
is-
in the
yeah.
whole movie. There's another woman
Yeah,
opposite
shit.
Jeremy Renner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Putting
So-
that out there.
So she exists.
She exists.
And she's useful. She's way more
she uses
useful
the
than.
Gatling gun, and she heals them. She is way more useful than
Wow,
Selma
guys,
Hayek's character.
this
in Wild
okay.
Wild
So
West.
real quick, this doesn't pass the Bechdel test on like such an extravagant level in which no two female characters actually talk to each other.
That's not true. The
I
witches
guess-
talk to one
I
another
guess,
all the
but-
time.
Yeah, I guess. But like, if that's an evil, that's villain versus. It's like the two female characters that are like on the same side.
So does the Bechdel test not count if they're villains? Is that what we're saying?
I actually don't know. I can't look into that though.
You're asking the wrong person.
But our two
And-
female heroines do not meet at any point.
They
So-
do meet. They just barely
Yeah.
meet.
Rita is Selma Hayek's character.
That's her
Rita,
name.
okay.
Yeah.
So she's more useful than Rita.
Yeah.
There you
Everyone's
go.
more useful than Rita. That's not
Rita
true.
got her shit down. You know.
Did she?
Did she?
Yeah.
I mean, she did. We talked about this is going back to that. We talked about how her point of view in the movie would have been way more interesting.
All right, we're not talking about Wild Wild West. We're talking about
Wild
Wiki
Hansel and
Wiki Wild
Gretel,
Wild West.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Witch
Jake,
Hunter.
I don't think you've been able to fully get a point in.
I've gotten. I mean, most of my points have kind of been covered. Let me see if I can find anything that hasn't.
What's your biggest problem with this movie?
Oh God.
Well, hold on. Do you have a problem with this movie?
Yeah, do you have a problem? Was it all sunshine and rainbows all
It
the way
definitely
through?
wasn't all sunshine and rainbows.
All
all
right,
the
then
way
what was
through.
your problem with this movie?
I mean, we could start with the fact that outside of the action scenes, I think it was like shot fine, but a lot of the camera cuts were, as Jack said, kind of jarring, kind of just
Okay.
But that's like a pretty minor gripe. There was no story. There's barely a story here. It's like, look, I can get behind a bunch of cool fight scenes strung together by a loose plot. I love Schwarzenegger films as much as the next guy, but like that's all this movie is.
The story is as linear as possible.
Yeah, there's not a lot to sink my teeth into here, and so while there's not a lot for me to be actively like angry about and get a big like huffy moment out of, there's also not a lot for me to really love here. Like, there are some cool action scenes, but that's it. Not to shit on the movie or anything, I don't want to do that, because it is functionally fine. Like, it's an A-okay movie. It's like a C- or something like that. Like, it's perfectly passing grade. But there's just nothing here. Like, you have Jeremy Renner's character, who's fine but not memorable. Gretel's fine, I guess. All the characters are fine. It's just fine. Everything about this movie is... It's a passing grade, and that's all. And it doesn't have, like... It's not well done, and it doesn't nail the points hard enough for me to fall in love with it like I did iRobot. And it's not quite as much of a schlock fest as Wild Wild West. So it just kind of falls into this weird category of I almost wish it was a little worse. Because if it was a little bit worse, I think I'd have...
enough for you.
It kind of, like, I'm not kidding. I wish this movie was made on a budget of about, $40 million less. Like, this is just... I wish that this movie was worse. Or better. Like, no, worse. I think this movie would serve itself better if it was just a shittier movie.
Oh, man.
Like, and I know that's a hell of a take, but that's what it is. It's like, this movie had too much of a budget to be that bad. Like, it's a perfectly competent film. They poured enough money into it to get, like, good cinematography and good action scenes and decent effects. And it does all that. But
I wouldn't say, like, once again, using the word good here.
Alright, fine. Perfectly passable. Like, passing grade.
Yeah, it's cinematography and not good effects.
The effects are fine. They're whatever. It's like 2013, man.
Once again, the broom...
The broom is dumb. The broom looks stupid.
You cannot just say, oh, it's 2013. Effects weren't up to snuff by that point.
You're right. We've talked about this before. If The Matrix was made in 99, everything should be held to a little bit of a higher standard. You're right. The broom scenes did look dumb. They were... the camera cuts when they were running to show speed is... When I think that there are better, more interesting ways to show, like, speed. Like, you could just show things moving around them quicker, or... I don't know, show some nuts in the ground, or just not do it. Yeah,
do it.
Sometimes it's as easy as choosing not to.
I mean, I get that. You know what? I respect them for doing the classic witch thing. Witches on brooms, but they could have just as easily like avoided that and have witches go like bang, throw a puff of smoke on the ground and disappear.
Witches are flammable.
Isn't that's...
Oh, well, no. Not if it's magic fire.
Well, they fire off magic fire all the time, though.
No, but they're not standing
They
in it.
specifically don't touch the magic fire, though.
Yeah.
Even when Muriel conjures it, it's not touching your
Well,
hand.
smoke isn't fire.
Hold on, that just reminded me of my big whole thing with this movie.
Yeah.
Why are they working to like just get rid of their fire, whatever, when they
It
could...
was so another one of my sisters will
Okay,
never
yeah,
be burned
okay,
again.
but they could have just been working on, we have this magic, why don't we develop a new spell that's like a fire shield?
Also cool, but that's more of like a community. Let's get
Okay,
together.
that's
and have a
the
work.
difference.
This was a community thing, let's get to work!
Jack, that's the difference of having like an enchantment on you versus you having to cast a sorcery every time.
Okay, and this does bring me back to the point that I was going to make, where it doesn't fucking matter that they were going to do a fire magic, because in the end, Big Bad Muriel gets ganked by a shovel.
Yep.
You're right.
Not even a magic
In
shovel.
the end,
No.
their plan was still fucking stupid, no matter what.
You always behead something.
I have a point to make here, Jack, on your thing that you said, or why didn't they come together and develop a new spell? It's because these were warlocks, and warlocks would never do that because warlocks don't actually have any of their own magical ability. They just borrow it. Wizards would have come together to make the fire shield spell.
Why didn't they ask the powers above, hey, when I die, can my head just slowly reattach?
You think Satan's gonna do you a solid like that?
Yeah, if you're cool enough.
Yeah,
if
but
you're
were any
in
of
with
these,
Satan,
Jack, were any of these witches that down with the devil?
I'm sure some of them were that down.
Were any of them that down?
I
If
don't
she
know.
wasn't, were any of the other ones?
Did any of the other ones, like, commit to say, oh yeah, praise Satan? Holla holla at you, boys.
No.
We don't
None of them
technically
actually
know.
do.
We don't technically know if it's Satan.
The only one who said spawns of Satan was Peter Stormare.
Yeah, and he said it great. He
Peter
delivered that
Stormare
line
is
fantastically.
Super down with Satan.
Yeah, if he had the magic, why didn't Peter Stormare have the magic?
He was getting headbutt in the face by Gretel in every scene he
Every
was in.
single
Yeah.
scene.
All
yeah.
3 of them. He was getting punched in the face.
He's so good and
Mhm.
so just underutilized in most things he's in.
I don't know. I think he's great
Yeah.
feeling backwards, having gotten his head punched in and his
Yeah.
nose bitten off.
Yeah.
Which I do respect as a decision for Gretel to anytime someone said something she didn't like to just wild haymaker or headbutt them.
Yeah.
I want that in my life.
She's good.
Once again, gotta stop using the word good.
She's good. She's
fine.
fine. All right? She's fine.
And that's coming from someone who thinks this movie's like a really fun watch. Like,
It's a fun time. I wouldn't call it
it's
a
a
good
fun
movie,
time.
but it's a fun
The
time.
characters in this movie are bad.
I'll say
They
it's a
are
good
tropes.
movie. Oh, look, it has a beginning, it has a middle, it has an end. It effectively uses exposition. There are characters, there are
Yes.
actors who do a good
This-
job.
You're right.
Wow.
This is a movie.
toe to
And
tip.
confirmed.
Toe to tip. That's a film. That's a movie.
Not even just that, that's a story. She's not included any film aspects
We
into
filmed
this.
it!
It is.
There we
She's
go. We
thrown
got
up
there.
the specifics for a
Every
story.
sci-fi
Hans
show.
Zimmer did the soundtrack.
No, we're not
Wait,
doing
what?
this. Wait,
Hans
really?
Zimmer did the music.
Really?
Yes, look it up.
All right, I'm looking this up.
Is this gonna change anything for you?
No, but
Yeah, because I don't like the music. in this
yeah, I
movie.
mean, Hans Zimmer's not infallible. He has some real great music. He has some real bangers like The Lion King and Inception and
Is he the
Batman.
Lion
But
King?
yeah,
I don't realize that.
yeah, he does all the orchestral stuff in The Lion King.
Mhm.
But he has some real bangers like that. But then he's also kind of does a lot of stuff, and when that happens, you sometimes don't throw your full weight behind it.
Mhm.
I was just thinking about what's your favorite thing? Because we've been really down on this movie for like
I don't
40.
think we've been too down on it.
You've been down.
I've been down.
Jack's
on it.
been down on it.
What is your favorite thing about this movie? What's your highest point? What was the point that was like, yes, it just worked for you?
Ignoring just the props, because the props are my favorite bit.
Yeah. Okay.
Because they established a universe.
Part
just
that's
with
like
those
part of the
those pieces.
story and like the character, but I agree. As far as like the entire movie goes, just the look and the props and the weapons.
We're so good. Honestly, I'm here because of the tone of the movie. Yeah, we have silly nonsense across the board, but the first shot after the opening is children's faces woodblock printed onto milk bottles.
Yeah,
Then
it's
you
a great
get
gag.
like your fanboy with his
We
scrapbook.
haven't even talked about him. What's his
I
name?
love
it.
him.
Ben. Right?
Ben.
I actually-
Ben is the fanboy.
I thought
Yeah.
he was.
I love Ben because
Oh,
he's the
he's
most
good.
relatable one for me, because that would be me in this movie.
I think he's good, and I will fight you over the use of good in this one. I think that character is legitimately good.
I love it because it didn't take itself too seriously. It picked the tropes it needed for this kind of puritanical fantasy setting, and then amped them up to like 12 by making it the action movie right on top of that. Like they put the fantasy layer over top of these two vigilantes going at it, you know? That kid was exactly the guy looking for Spider-Man. You cracking up with Cole Rachel? Is that what this is?
I would also like to point out, be careful with your words when you say these two vigilantes going at it, and you're just adding to my...
We gotta stop.
I refuse.
No, okay, I'm with
Because
Jackson. That was a good one. She left it open.
Anyone who watches it, I'm not crazy.
No, you're not
it's there.
crazy.
It's there.
It's a little
Sam
there.
can deny it all she wants, but it's there.
I'm gonna.
And it's a little
there.
weird.
Nope.
You all right? If we're going by those metrics, like
Yeah.
weapons, that's my favorite part of the movie. The weapons.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. The weapons bring me so much joy. I love all the good, like, not good, but like all the fun jokes around it. It's like, no, I'm not a very good shot. That's why I use a shotgun.
I did like that.
Ugh, I love it. I love the style of the weapons and all the different ways they thought of making these weapons even dumber than they already were.
Mhm.
Like the fold out rifle,
I love the collapsible
amazing.
rifle.
Yeah.
They got in the witch scene, which I needed. I think they actually picked that up from a witch, which makes sense for the style of the weapon.
Yeah.
The Gatling gun, fucking love it.
Yeah.
I had
Anyway,
a great time with the weapons, and that is what I love about this movie. Is it is I'm not here necessarily for the dialogue. I do love some of the one-liners, but mostly the one-liners I enjoy are in reference to battles in which the weapons are coming out, I will say.
Any schlocky action movie worth its salt will have a Gatling gun or minigun scene.
I would argue that some
great
action
some of the
movies
best action movies
have
have
a
that.
minigun scene.
Yeah.
It's just awesome.
It's awesome. The Gatling gun is awesome.
Yeah.
No, whoever was in that part of the prop department, they were having a good time.
Yeah, the prop department and like wardrobe, like everything, like they were having a fantastic
I'm
time.
I'm not coming here for plot.
Honestly,
I put this on in the background when I want to look over and go, that's a fun fight scene.
I'll say this: I'm sure everyone who worked on this movie probably had a pretty fucking good time
And it
making
feels like that the whole way through. There's no part where you're like, oh, this is the slog thing. I can't believe we have to watch this scene the whole time. Like,
Well,
okay, we're all here.
The movie doesn't have time for that. The
Yeah,
movie is
it goes
literally
so
an hour.
fast.
I don't
What,
need
an
a
hour
movie.
and 20 minutes, I think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't need a movie with a lot of dead air.
No, it's around the
No,
same.
I agree.
Okay, no, we looked this up last week. I think it's around the same time as iRobot.
Oh,
No.
okay.
They just pack a lot in.
No, because I said it's not as long, and you guys looked it up and said it is
No, I
basically
think-
the same length.
I think
I'll find the
iRobot's 150 minutes. You look
I'm
up. I'll look up
looking.
iRobot.
I got, this one is 88 minutes.
Oh, is it only 88?
Yeah.
Where did you guys get that? Because I thought you guys said like 140 or something.
I may have been looking at the director's cut.
Yeah, no, iRobot's almost 2 hours.
Which we should have watched
Yeah.
the director's cut.
Yeah, we could have seen Renner Dong.
We don't know
I don't
for
know.
sure if this is the Renner
I
Dong
got
cut.
good feelings. It probably is.
Tell Zack Snyder to release the Renner Dong cut.
I will say, my one issue with this film, besides the fact I can acknowledge that it plot-wise, this is straightforward as hell. There is no side streets we take. There are no more.
I don't need side streets.
Let me finish. We know how you feel. There is no side. I will say, at the very beginning of the film, I had Sam write something down because they had the warnings for the film, and like most of them, I was like, yes, absolutely, violence, gore, nudity, sexuality was a tag, which seemed like a weird description for me.
Mhm.
Drug use though was a weird decision of theirs.
I made a note, and I kept notes of the whole film, and the only thing that could possibly be in reference to is his insulin.
Well, insulin
guess
analog, I guess.
so.
Yeah, that's it.
That's
That
it.
is the it.
No.
Unless
Yeah,
we are taking a completely different look and we are saying that witch's brew to get the fire away was drugs.
Could be.
Could
you
be
know.
drugs.
Which absolutely could be. Or we look at this way too, let's get too in depth. Maybe this was all a weird dream. They are actually just dropping acid in the beginning.
Never allowed to use that excuse for anything ever. I hate
So the
it.
kid-
It's the
It
worst.
was all just a dream.
Yeah,
It was all
that's
just
the
a
worst.
dream.
That
No.
is when
That is-
something.
That's all I got.
Yeah.
We call that cowardice in this household.
No.
Yeah. I'll
No,
agree
absolutely.
100% there.
That's the only that is the only bullshit explanation I have for the drug use besides the like diabetes analog like fantasy disease they have
Which
in here.
honestly I did love. You know what happened
It's
to
a-
Hansel?
It's actually like kind of a unique thing. I do think it's weird that the witches weaponized diabetes, but in this specific case, I actually think it's fine.
Well, they didn't mean to. He was gonna die. She was
Yeah.
gonna eat him. It was just a weird side effect.
Yep.
That
of their weird witch candy.
made
Yeah.
sense, you know?
Unless they were going for the he ate too much sugar and then got diabetes, because that is not how one gets it. But they
Well,
called it
yeah,
sugar
but-
sickness,
Yeah.
and the witch is the one who identified it as sugar sickness. So I will accept this as a weird magical malady.
I'm just calling it weaponized diabetes because I wanted to use the phrase weaponized diabetes.
And you know what? They did a very good job of introducing it early without any kind of explanation,
Mhm.
following that up with another introduction wherein they did explain it, and then it comes up later in a very critical fight scene wherein it does prolong it and actually give you some reason to go, oh no, now we're gonna have to chase this witch out in the woods again.
It's just like Paul Blart. Same thing happened with Paul
Nope.
Blart. Yep. Paul
Oh,
Blart's
God.
diabetes.
That
Not
wasn't
diabetes.
No,
it's
that was,
hypoglycemia.
Same
Hypoglycemia.
same
Nope.
fucking thing. Cripples
No.
him and the most
He's-
pivotal.
hold on. I need to throw this out there. He may not be right on the science, but my brother is absolutely right on the
On the
what
mechanic,
happens.
yeah, the plot
On the
mechanic. Yeah,
execution.
absolutely.
That being said, yeah, the fake sugar disease that worked because that's like they're using the source material. They're doing it well.
Bringing us back around, we were going over our favorite things.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I haven't
Weapons,
done mine yet, but we've got
props.
weapons, props.
I love the overall tone. It's exactly the aesthetic I look for in this
Okay.
kind of film.
I
What'd you like, Jake?
I like the intro a whole bunch.
It was really
the
good.
introduction, like pre-credits, I thought was great. I thought that was the one thing from this movie that I can say. Obviously, the costuming is really good and all that jazz.
Mm-hmm.
You guys already covered that.
Yeah.
Steampunk. Great aesthetic.
Yeah.
It is fantasy
It
steampunk,
works.
absolutely. No, that
But-
steampunk isn't fantasy, but
Fantasy goth steampunk.
It's like weird.
Which is why I
Like
love it.
Puritan. I think Puritan fantasy, actually, what Sam said earlier, works pretty well to describe this. Yeah, I really like that. The intro, the woodblock carvings are cool. The little like stage puppet thingies on sticks is neat, and moving them around with the fire in the background. I thought that part was awesome, which is kind of coloring the rest of my movie. That my favorite thing of it was the first minute and a half.
I mean, I enjoyed that too because it's a very good like way to use exposition.
Oh, I
because all of the headlines were relevant. You know, they set up exactly how long they've been doing this.
yeah,
You know?
no,
Yeah,
You're laughing. Come on.
No, you're right. It shows the passage of time. Look at how cool they are. Look at what they've been doing.
hey, I appreciate it because it is better than just showing us clips.
Well, they didn't show us clips, and we didn't have to sit through someone going, "Oh my god!" I mean, we did with the nerd,
Yeah,
but we
it
established
happened.
it earlier, and we got to hand wave it off because oh no, we all know this. Everyone knows this. Please go shut up, Ben. Go be useful somewhere else.
I'm not arguing with you. I agree with you.
I really liked it. It was very smart. They did very smart things with the credits in both times, both the begin credits and the end credits.
I wouldn't say they did smart things.
Well,
I mean, especially not in the end credits. I mean, that was literally just a big man punching the credits into frame, which is like
Big man, would you go knock? Bust
Yeah.
open the door is such
into
a
the credits.
beautiful trope.
I'm not saying it's like bad. I'm just saying it's not smart. It's not. Someone didn't like pour their fucking soul into that.
I didn't say clever. I said efficient.
You said smart.
Smart.
You said smart.
And clever is a lot closer to smart than efficient.
Should we get on to the three major points? The three
yes.
questions.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, absolutely. So, first question, and I'm gonna phrase this a little bit differently so it doesn't bleed into the others as much. Was this, technically speaking, a good movie? Visually, yes. Story-wise, no.
I, however, say yes on both counts.
Ooh. No.
Yes!
No. Is this? No. Of course not. Yeah, it's got a cool aesthetic, but no, it's a fucking garbage movie. Jake.
The movie sucks. Like it just sucks. Like it's like when the best thing I can say about a movie is it's fine. Like it's fine, I guess, is the highest praise I can muster. It's not a good movie, y'all.
Okay, next, did you have a good time? I will say, obviously, yes, I had a great time. I like this movie because it is a fun time. I don't expect, like, literary perfection from it ever. But it's a fun time.
I had a great time. I have cable. If it's on TV, it's on my TV, okay? It's a good movie. I had a great time.
It's on my TV, damn it, don't change the channel. Fucking Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunter's on.
Kids, go downstairs. Witch Hunter's on.
Damn it, Mom, it's the fucking 8th time this week.
It's a good movie.
Yes, it's very fun to watch, and it literally, it goes through its fucking, the movie is so short that it doesn't overstay its welcome. It has its really fun moments. I don't think it would be as fun to watch alone, but in a group, it is super fun to watch.
I had fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that I probably didn't look like I was having fun because I was over there, like, scribbling notes and scowling most of the movie because this is the first time I watched it, and that's just kind of the unfortunate way that I take in my first watch of a movie. But, yeah, I had a good time with it.
Cool. And would you watch this again? Again, I bought it, obviously. I put it on when I'm cleaning. I will watch this again. Probably soon.
Absolutely. I love this movie.
Yeah, I'll watch it again.
Nope.
There we go.
I have no interest in ever watching this film again.
I think that's the first time we've said no to rewatching a movie. So, wait, did we say no on Wild Wild
I
West?
said no to Wild Wild West,
I said
but
no
only
to Wild
because
Wild West.
hold on, only because I've seen it twice.
Okay, that's too
This
many.
movie, I don't even think I'd get through. It's short. I could, I guess, if I had to go through a second watch.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
That's fair. It's not for everyone.
I would disagree. It was a movie for everyone.
It was a movie very much for everyone. I think that's my problem with it more than anything.
All right, guys. So that was our, I guess, review or discussion of Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters.
It was our thing.
Our thing, yeah.
It was our analysis.
Or-
No.
This is our equivalent to those really smart video
This is our,
essays.
this is our thesis.
Yeah, this is our thesis
I think it's our
statement.
recommendations.
How many of us?
You know, our breakdown. I think it's a breakdown.
Yeah, a breakdown is certainly
Breaking
what
is
I was
something we
having.
do very well.
Okay, guys.
But yeah, let's stick the outro on here, people. I've been Jake,
I'm Jackson.
I'm Sam.
I'm Rachel.
and tonight we watched Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters.
Hunters?
Hunters.
Is there really an S at the end of that?
Yeah, there's two of them.
Yeah, there's two of them.
Holy shit.
Not just the one witch hunter.
I can't wait to bury you. Pour the dirt all over